And we are live. Guys, I'd like to welcome you to the Let's Talk Fishing video podcast. My name is Jay Angel, and I'm going to be your podcaster for this evening. With me tonight, I have a guy by the name of Lane Zimmer. Lane pretty much does it all, man. Delacroix, Louisiana, the redfish capital of the world, charter boat captain there. Makes death grip jig heads. For you guys, walleye fishermen up north, you gotta try these. You gotta try these jig heads, man. I tell people bring a pair of scissors because you're gonna need them to cut the old swim bait off. They're really cool. And what I am excited about, I want to tell you, Lane just bought Cajun Lures. Back in the day when I first started my podcast, Zach Dubois, former owner of Cajun Lures, and I did a lot of work together. And I had him on my podcast several times. He took me fishing. He caught a 6.5 pounder. Just an enormous bass. Man, that was fun. But okay, enough of that. How you doing tonight, Lane?
I'm doing pretty good, Jake. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, you're very welcome, man. You're very welcome. I think we can do a lot of work together. So first thing I'd like to get into is Cajun Lures.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you show us some of the stuff you're going to be making?
Well, we got a lot going on with the whole Cajun Lures thing because it's not just going to be, Cajun Lures like, what Zach did. I'm actually taking Cajun Lures and my soft plastics and we're putting everything together. It's all going to be one thing. So we're going to have some of the old staples from Cajun Lures like the crack and crawl and the bite bug. And then we're going to have some of the staples from my end like the ghost minnow and the twisted mullet and a few of those. We're going to put everything together under the Cajun Lure name.
And even death grip jig heads?
Yeah, Death Grip is going to stay its own thing. It's still going to say Death Grip jig heads,
Sure.
but it's all going to be under one banner. Like if you go to the CajunLures.com website, you're going to have Death Grip on side of just about everything on that site.
That's exciting. I've been using death grip jig heads for a long time. Well, I haven't been down here for that long. I actually moved down here in 2012, so but that was one of the first things I noticed is these local guys know how to make jigs.
Yeah. And that goes all the way back from, the days I spent, guiding in Lafitte and now in Delacroix. We used what was available at the time, and there was some good things and stuff. A couple of things that weren't that great. Like, man, there's probably a better way to do this.
Yes,
and that just was born from fishing.
The old ball-headed jigs, decades. And as a walleye fisherman from the north, you're pulling that. Oh, I got a bite. And I thought I felt that tooth go over, set the hook. No. So sometimes the soft plastic would be gone. It just pulled that right off.
Mm-hmm.
And trout do the same thing.
Yeah.
But trout are more aggressive than walleye. I guess because they live in hotter water, much hotter water.
People always say if trout ever got to 6 foot, they would eat people. That's how aggressive a trout can be.
Well, bluegills too.
Yeah.
Bluegills, yeah, that's the Goliath grouper. And those things eat sharks. Among other things. Trout would be dangerous. A lot of those saltwater fish would be dangerous. Some of them are dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I keep telling people about the sharks. If you're don't mess with the sharks.
No.
Because I do a lot of surf fishing. I enjoy surf fishing, and if you use some common sense, I've never had any problems.
Mm-hmm.
I've had fish, and I'm trying to grab a trout with I call them my nabbers, those things that you grab down there, just about ready to grab it, and the shark comes up and grabs it. Okay. They're getting worse. I'm sure you see those a lot more around Delacroix than you used to.
We see them more on the outside, like when we fish in Black Bay and all, than way back in the marsh. But yeah, they're definitely on the outside.
Yeah, well, Grand Isle is like right there by the Gulf, so that's why. So So why don't you show us some of the soft plastics you've been shooting?
Okay. Well, let's start off with some of the old standbys, the staples of Cajun lures. Well, we bring up the Kraken Crawl first, and this
Oh, yeah.
is one that we were ended up shooting today. This is the 420 color.
Oh yeah,
Everybody can see that how that's going to
420.
look. But this is just
Cool.
fresh out the mold today. We just made these. So we
Nice.
got the Kraken Crawl in that color. We also did the Bayou Bug.
You got the
And that
Bayou
was
Bug
the 420.
2.0.
Yeah, the 2.0. So we
I caught
finished those up
something from
today.
that.
We're gonna have
Yeah.
it in a couple other styles of baits too. Um, also got it right here. We have it in the Zydeco shad.
Oh yeah, your fluke.
Yep.
I like that.
So we've been busy. We've been trying to get a lot of these colors that everybody's been asking for made in the correct baits. So it's just taking some time because we have so many colors and so many baits we have to get through. So we're starting with the colors that we have to do all of the baits in before we do the more exotic colors.
Sure.
So
So
like
are you
like
going to
with
use something like
Junebug
that,
and
like a June
all of
bug?
this stuff, we're doing, big runs of everything all at one time so we cover that color.
Sure. Are you going to be making June bug or something like June bug?
Yeah, tell you what, well, let me reintroduce another bait that Zach had for a while, and that's the poodle crawl.
Oh, nice.
This is in, I don't know if you can see it. This is in Junebug red. You can see the
Nice.
purple. But yeah, we
Yeah.
will have this. This is going to be in the Kraken Crawl and the Bayou Bug.
Boy, that's something
So,
I like, the Texas rig right there.
yeah.
Man,
So yeah, we do
that
have Junebug. We got all, a lot of colors, really. We're probably going to end up with a dozen, maybe 14 colors to start off with, the staple colors in those before we start adding in, like I said, some of the more exotic colors, the more, flashy looking stuff instead of the basics. Um, another normal color that we normally would carry would be sapphire blue.
ooh.
This is in the big crawl. This is going to be a new one that we're bringing out for Cajun lures.
When would you use a color like that? Or what situation?
You can do a lot with this. I mean, once those crawfish come out the ground, they have that little blue hue to them.
Yes.
That would be something I would do.
So like in January?
January, February, something like that.
Sure.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not the biggest bass guy out there. I mean, I've been guiding saltwater for 16 years now.
Sure.
Every now and again, I get to go bass fishing, but just from the lure making business and been doing this for so long, we got a pretty good idea of what people in the area use and what people actually want in some of these baits.
Well, I can tell you the guys up north, watermelon seed, green pumpkin.
Mhm.
Guys up north say bass will bite any color as long as it's green.
I got you.
Guys
Yep.
down here, June bug.
Yep. We got watermelon red in the list. We ran that already. We're working on some others right now. Is just starting off with the simple colors and then working our way up to the more complex stuff.
My favorite color up north was watermelon seed by Yum.
Uh-huh.
And also, there was a company called Kinami, Kinami. If you look
Okay.
up baby bass, that was such a good color for I mean, you're talking 15 states up there.
I got you.
I just love, every time I found Kinami baits and baby bass, I'd buy every one they had. As well as a guide, if you find something that's rare, you empty your wallet.
Yeah. Bait makers like guys like you that buy the whole peg when they go to the store.
Yes. I'd come up there with a big old, you sure you want to buy all these? You trying to talk me out of spending money? Really?
Uh-huh.
Dude, I'm a perfect. This is all. I'm gonna need a receipt too, because this is all just a write-off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, we got a comment. Yay. Crush It Gel. That's Tad Maisie. How you doing, Tad?
Mhm.
Great to see you. Great to see you, Tad. Tad makes Crush It Gel, which is a very good
No
scent.
Crush It gel.
Well, that's the guy who makes Crusset Gel,
Uh-huh.
and he says he likes the June bug craw.
Yeah, we're gonna have that June bug red and a lot of stuff.
Yeah, thank you for commenting, Tad. I haven't seen you in a while. I will be there on January 30th. Actually, Tad's active with Responsible Anglers United, which you as a guy who makes bass lures now,
Yeah.
you're gonna like them. Those guys are
Yep. They've reached
dedicated.
out to me to donate some stuff to the cause and this and that. But I'd already kind of previously promised some guys I would help out with their so as B&B tackle. They're doing some donations
Awesome phase one. Yeah.
for the cause. So I'm actually giving them a bunch of stuff, and they're gonna donate to the little raffle and everything.
Yeah, Austin was there last year. I finally met him in person. There's so many. It was nice to actually meet some of the guys I've been talking to for years. I do this, and some of these guys I've been talking to for years and never met them.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so January 31st, guys, look up responsibleanglersunited.com. Last year, 32,000 Florida strain largemouth bass in the Lake Buff area, between 4 and 6 inches long. Those are expensive. We raised a lot of money, but we spent a lot of money, and they delivered, man. In October, I went to where they told me to go, and they had the water trucks there already, the tank trucks, and actually the LDWF was there with a couple of their boats, and we put them in their tanks and took them out and put them in. I mean, it was a lily pad field, probably 200 acres, and we put a bunch of them there. We put a bunch of them in other places that had good grass. Two thumbs up to those guys. 2 thumbs up, and I guarantee Bayou Bug is going to catch some of those bass.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they put them in October, come the January, February spawn. Who knows? Florida strain bass are the fastest growing bass there are. So we'll be catching some annoying 12 inchers next year. But I'm excited because, I really thought that I must suck at fishing when I first came down here because I could not buy a bass. And then people started telling me, well, let me tell you something.
Yep. A little bit different down here.
Yeah, well, hurricanes come through every few years, and they're going to come again. And, and it just decimates everything. And it's tough. There, did you read that, Lane?
Yeah, I can see. Right now we right in the middle of production. I don't have anything ready yet. We're still waiting on, bags and just more stuff that we needed. That when we bought Cajun from Zach, like I said, he kind of drew the stock down when he was about to shut down. So we pretty much starting from almost zero with inventory and all. So it's going to take us a minute to get everything back up and running. But once we got everything set and ready to go, we're going to be rocking and rolling. It's just going to take a little bit of time. I'm hoping to have the entire lineup and all the colors and everything done for the Louisiana Outdoors Expo in March.
There you go. There you go. That'll be fun. Selling some lures, man. I've done that a lot. I love going to those shows. Love going to those shows. So you have anything else you want to show us?
Yeah,
you have
sure.
any death grip jig heads?
Yeah, I got some death grips.
I'd like to show these guys because I'm sure I have some of my friends from up north watching. Are they going to be watching once I put this on Facebook?
I got you. Yeah. Our 2 most popular ones for fishing around here, and actually I just did a show in North Carolina, and folks love them up there too. But the 2 little ones, the 8th and the 16th, are by far the most popular ones. And the reason they're popular is because of all the ridges. I don't know if you can see that with the glare. All the ridges that's on the bait keeper, that bait. That
Yeah, put it
keeps
about 4 inches
everything
away.
from sliding
Yeah.
down. It keeps your jigs and your plastics all buttoned up so they don't slide down on you.
Well, that's what I told people. You better bring a pair of scissors because sometimes you do. I'm exaggerating there. If you grab it right and just pull, they come off, but they don't come off just because you casted them too much.
Like I
Like the
explained to people, and we can pull them off. I mean, it ain't a big deal, but it's gonna be way more pressure for us to take it off than what any fish is gonna put on it.
Oh
So it's gonna
yeah.
keep everything bunched up. And I know you from up north, y'all like y'all crappie up there, but look, we got sockeye heads in that too.
Oh yeah.
Little micro
Oh yeah. They
heads,
love the crappies
the
up north, man. They
16s,
like those.
and a little bitty 132nd like that.
You know,
That's gonna
actually,
really pair up well with this guy right here because I know everybody's looking for the Slim Jimmy. Yeah,
Slim Jimmy. Yeah,
the
there
Slim
you
Jimmy's
go.
gonna make a comeback. We still have these here. I have a handful of them left over from the last run we made. I mean, not a lot of people know, but towards the end of when Zach was running everything with Cajun, I was running his Slim Jimmys and I was running his Bad Minutes. I had the most here at my shop, so I was
Yeah.
making those for him. And before he shut everything down, we made a pretty good little run of sockeye baits. I still have some sitting in my desk. I was just waiting for Zach to order them so I can ship them to him in a hurry. But then everything got shut down, so I got a handful of them left. But along with those, we're gonna keep the three that I make. The Panasonic grub. It's that little guy right there.
Wow, that's interesting.
We also have our little 2-inch curly tail.
Twister tail, man. Love it.
And our baby ghost, the small version of the ghost minnow, in 2 1/4.
You know, that
So,
that right there would catch a lot of crappies.
oh yeah, and that's all going to pair well with the little micro death grip jig heads.
Yes.
So
Micro
we
death
got
grip.
we got a full plate ahead of us here, and then of course on the saltwater side, we got our ghost minnow that we've been having for. I was telling my fiance Janine the other day, is like, it's been 14 years we've been making this thing. I didn't think we'd been at it this long. It just shows I'm getting old and doing all this stuff. But yeah, the ghost minnow is gonna stay. Our twisted mullet is gonna stay.
Sure.
And then we're gonna add in, the Mad Minnow. That's gonna stay. And being everybody loves the cocodrie candy so much, we're gonna have the cocodrie candy in the Mad Minnow. We're gonna have it in the Zydeco shad.
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
if you can see it seeing it coming across. I'm kind of in the glare right here. It's hard to see it. And I had a lot of people ask, but yes, it's gonna be in the Ghost Minnow too.
Nice.
So cocodrie candy is gonna be in a lot of stuff that we make.
You know, that 1/8 death grip, I like to put that underneath a popping cork when I'm running swim baits underneath the popping cork.
I
Because
actually like the 16th better. The 16th
You like the
falls just
16th
a
better?
little
Okay.
bit slower, and it's my personal favorite. I love throwing the 16th underneath a popping cork.
Okay. I've been experimenting with smaller because of that.
Mhm.
It just falls slower and it tends to do some of this, if the tide's ripping,
Yep.
which is the
It
best
works
time
well
to
with our death grip because it falls so slow. You really don't need a paddle tail style bait. These little darter baits work really good on a small jig head under a cork because it just naturally falls. It doesn't really need a lot of speed to kick the tail. And the way we make the ghost minnows in such a durable plastic, you can catch fish all day long off of one of these guys.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I like that. Man, that's wow, I like that. Do you have anything else you'd like to show the people?
I got some that we're gonna keep for the outdoor expo that we really haven't shown anybody yet, but I want to show another one that we bringing back, and that's the baton. That's
Beton.
that's the 5-inch stick bait. We're gonna have this in a couple of colors. It's gonna be heavily salted, and it's gonna have a bunch of action to it with it. But we're also gonna have the big brother version of that, the Grand Baton.
The
And I don't
ground
know if
up
y'all can
thing. I like it.
see the size with that.
Is that a
This
7
one's the
inch?
5-inch. This one's the 7-inch.
Okay.
It's really, I don't know if you can see how much thicker and bigger this thing is. But yeah, this is gonna be your more Florida type stuff where you want a really, really big Cinco compared to, the regular 5-inch that everybody else uses. So we are going to be adding those two to the lineup as well.
Oh yeah, we use some big um stick baits like that on, oh, what the heck. I've been to that place. La Crosse, Wisconsin, on the
Uh huh.
Mississippi River, the upper Mississippi River, and some of the backwaters of that. We'd we'd actually just, pitch that to every little nook and cranny we could get to. Great big pink, crazy colors like pink, and it just, I don't know what the heck they think it is, but it worked.
Yeah. Pink works on speckled trout down here too.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
pink. Like we were talking about before, man. I spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars getting my Rapala stick baits painted pink.
Hmm.
When we first started asking the guy for pink, he thought we were crazy. Well, good. Just go ahead and think we're crazy. Don't tell anybody. Just, yeah, I got some crazy guys playing pink, and we'll be winning tournaments in the meantime.
Looking at the comments about the Ghost Minnow. The Ghost Minnow is 4.25, including a little bitty, pin tail on it. It actually works really good as a live scope bait.
Yeah.
Now
So
I'll
that
show
middle
you
bait you were
why.
showing would be really nice for a 3.5
Yeah.
inch for live scope.
I'll put the little 1/16 death grip on it real quick and give you an idea what we're looking at. It makes a pretty good, I can see it like that, pretty good little profile there with the
Yeah.
small death grip on it and the Ghost
That
Minnow.
does look like something those live scoper bass guys would do for when they're hunting for single fish.
Hmm.
You
See,
know,
it will
they'll-
work. It will work for something like that. We got other stuff in the works that's going to be geared a little bit more towards the whole live scoping thing. It's just going to be a little bit because testing and designing and stuff just takes a minute.
yeah, yeah, I think so too. I think that worked great for live scoping for the bass guys. Sometimes they'll find bass out in the middle of the lake in 60 feet of water, over 100 feet of water, and they'll fish for a single fish.
Hmm.
And that's the kind of
Yeah,
stuff it's
I,
crazy.
I had
We
quite a
never
few people
have,
ask me if we were making that in freshwater colors to target bass with, and we'll probably end up doing that, but we're not going to call it a ghost minnow. It's going to be the same bait. We'll probably call it like scope and shad or scope and minnow or something like that. Do it in some freshwater colors and just put it in under a Cajun lures bag and not the ghost minnow bag.
that sounds like a good idea. There's so, yeah, you do stuff like that. We haven't even scratched the surface of that yet.
Hmm.
We're just, everybody's learning. Nobody really knows. Everybody's learning. This is so new. Live scope, everybody, no, that's cheating. It's not cheating, it's winning. Man, if you're catching fish, how can that be cheating? You're not snagging those fish. You know, I'm sorry, I get excited about that. I don't fish tournaments anymore. I probably never will, unless it's going to be a small little club tournament. I might, but wow, I'm just having such a good time just fishing with cool people and going out there and just catching fish and not worrying about all that stuff. Yeah, man, I was up live scoping on False River, and we were watching 5 bass carry. We were targeting deep water, um, deep water, 14, 15 feet, deep water brush piles with crankbaits, and we were watching 5 and 6 bass chasing our crankbaits over. So exciting. We didn't catch that many of them, but just sitting there watching that was just mesmerizing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of thing, when you can just sit there and just work them, get right over top of them and just work them, man, that's exactly what we need. So yeah, keep developing that, man. That's gonna be huge. And there's room for lots and lots of companies because everybody can jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, we got several things that we're working on, but like I said, it just takes time. Drawing out new baits takes time. Getting molds made just takes time. Testing takes time. So some of this stuff might take us, 2 or 3 months to even get something that we can put in our hands just to test.
Months. I was thinking years, but so yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, you can't rush stuff that's great. It takes time.
If I could ever stop pushing buttons on a machine for a while and sit at my computer and do what I need to do, I'll be in good shape.
I agree, Tad. Yeah. You put that on. You put Tad Maisie's gel on soft plastics. It does increase. How it's also going to. Well, we've also caught speckled trout with his gel.
Mm-hmm.
And people ask me what my favorite fish is. No, my favorite fish is the one that's on the end of my line right now. It's like asking which one is your favorite kid? Well, my favorite kid is the one that's behaving the best right now, causing the least amount of trouble. Because my kids were all like me, and they were troublemakers. Big talkers from Chicago. Yeah. But so Delacroix. So y'all got any water down there?
No, we have no water left. I fished yesterday in all that cold weather. Don't get me wrong, we caught fish, but
of course,
I was shivering the whole time. I was freezing to death, but we had limits of redfish. Pretty redfish.
Limits of redfish. That's awesome. Limits of eater-sized redfish. What I've been catching the last couple of years is, these guys, 35 inches. Where were these guys when I could keep them?
Yeah, for a while, that's all we could catch. We were catching 40 or 50 redfish a day to try and keep 8 or 12. Everything else was bulls. It's like we got invaded by big fish.
Man, but that's as a guide, that's a great problem to have.
Oh, my customers loved it. We had a blast battling all these redfish. And
they had a whole driver with their arm for it, right?
I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh man, we ain't got a limit. We need to catch a few more. And my guys are back like, dude, what are you talking about? We're having a blast. You just get
we're not here.
Guide mentality. I need my limit. I want my customers to catch fish, but man, they had so much fun messing them big fish. Everything was worth it.
Yeah, that is worth it. To have my arms hurt because I caught so many big fish, that's fun. That's fun. I haven't actually experienced that since I fished in Alaska for halibut. And when you're trying to, have you ever hooked into the anchor line and tried to pull it up?
No, but somebody put a 5-gallon bucket on the end of my rod one time. That wasn't fun.
Yeah, well, 5-gallon bucket.
No.
70-pound halibut, same thing. It's that hard to bring in, and it just kind of, I don't know. I think halibut are boring. They're the best tasting fish there is, but going to go up there on my air. I have an Air Force buddy who lives in Anchorage, Alaska, and he has a 50-foot yacht that we fish out of. And I always ask him, "Can we please troll for salmon? At least they fight. At least that's a little bit active. I mean, casting is what it's all about, man. I'm a bass fisherman at heart.
Mhm.
Casting, casting, trout, casting, redfish, casting. I don't sit there and watch a nasty piece of shrimp. No, no, too boring. Too boring. If I'm going to do that, if I'm going to work live bait, I got to work it down.
I tell you
Man,
what,
when
though, sometimes them old stinky shrimp pay the bills,
they do,
especially on some days like yesterday where the water temps were in the mid 40s and there wasn't much moving around. That's about the only thing we can get them to bite on.
so they didn't go to their deep holes yet, huh?
No, the
Or they
water
couldn't get there
was,
probably.
I don't know, the water was about 2 foot low from normal. And there was mud everywhere. So they had pulled out of the back marsh and into some of the bigger lakes, but even the bigger lakes didn't have much water in them. So they just kind of hung out on some of the flats that started to warm up first. We didn't catch anything early, but once the sun started to warm up and the water picked up, 3 or 4 degrees, they pushed up on a little flat that was starting to get warmer than everything else, and we never moved. That's all we had to do. We sat there and just waited for them.
Okay. Hey, it's getting to be about 31 after or 32 after the hour. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to do?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Well, then we can talk for a few more minutes about Delacroix because I love talking about Delacroix. So when do you think the trout should move in the inside?
It's going to depend on what this winter does. If we get some really, really cold weather, I'm hoping we don't see snow and stuff like we did last year. That's going to kill a bunch of trout.
Yeah.
On the Delacroix side, we really didn't have that great of a push of trout come in this year. There's a few little areas that held a few. We caught a handful for a little while. Some of the guys that were fishing live bait did a little bit better, but it's not what we thought would have happened. Especially with having low rivers and no hurricanes and stuff like that. We thought, we're gonna have a pretty good trout year, but it just didn't happen. It wasn't because we didn't have bait or the conditions wasn't right or nothing like that. It's like they just missed us. They went down to Venice. They went up to Lake Pontchartrain, but by us, it's just a swing and a miss.
Okay. But Delacroix is actually famous for its redfish. And if you're getting limits of reds, eater reds, man, that's other places. That's not easy to get a limit of reds.
And what made it a little bit difficult, say 2 years ago when it got really, really hot, it killed a lot of the grass in Delacroix. I'm not sure when the last time you've been, but if you remember Delacroix from back in the day, there was grass everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere you looked, there was a pile of grass. It wiped out all of it, like barren. And you couldn't find grass anywhere. Now you're finally starting to see areas that the good grass is starting to grow back and it's starting to look pretty again. And some of the areas actually have clean water that you can sight fish in. So I'm hoping, it doesn't kill off in the wintertime and we have, not a real big rise in the river where they open up Carnarvon and push a bunch of mud water in.
Yes.
It will actually clean up and we'll be back to sight fishing like we used to do. That's what I'm kind of looking forward to because most of the fishing that we did, especially when we used to fish across the river in Lafitte, was a lot of sight fishing, a lot of throwing plastics, and I love doing stuff like that.
Yes.
In fact, I can't wait to do something different than looking at a popping cork and just sitting in a spot. I like to go down the bank and move and fish and cast.
Yes, that is so much fun to do that for redfish. It's like, and guys, and for those of my friends up north, come on down here. Take a guy like Lane out and spend the day casting for redfish. It's going to be worth every penny you paid. Think about how much money you're. I'm not going to say wasting, but you think about all the donations you make for tournaments. Come on down here, fish 2 less tournaments a year. Come on down here, take Lane out from Delacroix, and you'll see what a bass, if a bass had shoulders, how hard they hit.
I got a bunch of guys that come from, Tennessee River Valley and they fish all
Yep.
up north up there. And they're like, oh man, we get these big old bass over here. I go, bro, this 6-pound redfish right here, you tie him to a 6-pound bass's tail, he'll drown him. You'll
Yep.
pull him around all day is not the same. And then
Yep.
once we finally get one that hits that plastic bait, thumps it real hard and takes off screaming, drags, he goes, I see what you're talking about now. This is awesome.
Oh yeah, or have them put on a Zara spook and have a. The first time I had a big redfish come up and hit a Zara spook, it was just wow. I've never seen any. I've caught thousands of fish on topwater, particularly the spooks, and all kinds of fish on spooks. Up north, we got muskies, northern pike. Walleyes will never hit it, but smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, hybrid stripers. Redfish just wiped out all those memories. But that's really all the time we have for this edition. Lane, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and talk to our folks on the Let's Talk Fishing podcast. And guys, thank you so much for tuning into this podcast. Remember, CajunLures.com. Go to CajunLures.com. It's at the bottom left. Check out the lures he has. And he's going to have a whole lot more there within a month.
Yep. Right now, what's in stock is pretty much what we had when we just had the Ghost Minnows and Death Grip. I haven't added anything yet, Cajun Lures wise, to the website. I'm kind of waiting until we have everything. That way, I don't have to.
You have to have some
start on one thing, and then by the time I'm end up running another thing, I got to start back at the beginning because we sold them all. We want to make sure we have everything that we want and need ready to go for the time that we put everything back out there. We just want to be ready to go with it.
Yep. Let me know when you do that, and I will do another internet blitz for you.
Okay.
And man, it's great to meet you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate everything, Jake.
Thank you. I'd like to stick around. I'm going to end the podcast with that. And guys, I'd just like to say thank you so much for tuning in, because I can't do this show without guys like Lane and also the people who watch. So, man, have a great week, guys. It's going to warm up.
Thank goodness. I hate fishing in the cold.